Damn, Ingenious made the beat? Yo, family. Welcome to the first episode of the CoachLife Podcast Radio. I'm your co-host, the casual one, Coach Steve. Joined with me today, my co-host, the professor, Coach Ryan.
Sir,
how we doing, brother?
Doing well, man. How you feeling today?
Excited.
Yeah.
Really excited, bro.
Yeah.
Because it has been a long time coming. We finally doing this podcast. And everybody has been asking, when is this coming out? When is this coming out? And we finally got it off the ground. I think we need to answer a question, though.
What's that question?
What is this podcast about?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's about brands. It's about coaching styles. It's about perspectives. It's about how you do, what you need to do, and who helps you get there.
Absolutely. It's about the brand that helps you build your brand, right?
Yeah.
I think we've been able to
write that down. That's good.
That's real good. We've been putting that in a book, right?
Put it in a book.
I think we've been able to we've been blessed with the opportunity to help a lot of people in all different walks of life, from a coaching aspect, from a mentoring aspect, from a management aspect, a supervisor aspect. We've been able to provide a lot of good perspective and see a lot of growth from a lot of individuals. And I think that's, again, the premise of this podcast. Again, is to continue to help provide that growth for everybody else, because it's all about growth, right?
Absolutely.
And being that this is the first episode, we cannot start the first episode off without the owner, founder of the CoachLife brand and clothing line, Coach Washington.
Hey.
That's what I'm talking about. How we doing, brother?
Man, we doing good. I'm excited.
You should be excited. First and foremost, man, let's start this off first and foremost by saying thank you for giving me and Ryan the opportunity and the platform to talk about not only the brand, but the opportunity to grow more individuals and give that perspective to people so that they can continue on their walk of life.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. Y'all were perfect for this job. Y'all perfect for it. We go way back. So I'm excited for the podcast, and I'm speechless right now because we finally doing it.
Right.
Because we finally doing it. I'm speechless.
Finally.
So.
Yeah.
So before we get into like the nitty gritty, because this pod, obviously this is just the intro pod. We just really going to just kind of chop up a few things about the brand, about some of the pods that we're going to do in the future. But let's kind of switch gears really quick. You kind of heard my perspective about the CoachLife brand. You heard Ryan's perspective about it. Let's hear from the owner himself what the CoachLife brand is. So, Coach Washington, tell us and the fans out there of the brand, what is the CoachLife brand? What's CoachLife?
Man, CoachLife is it's purpose. It's purpose. You kind of hit the nail on the head. I mean, everything you said is right. There's no wrong answer. It's kind of like when I thought of this brand, and just like background, what helped me kind of like gear the brand towards purpose and just pouring into us pouring into each other. Brands building brands, coaches coaching coaches. Not just athletes, not just adults to children, adults to adults. Like, it's all of that, because life is a continuous growing process. And that's what Coach Life is about. It's about developing people in all aspects of life. And so this whole idea kind of came from that. It came to me in the middle of a season, and I was just like thinking about all the gear that we get, and kids looking forward to the gear. And I'm like, man, what about the coaches? We get the leftovers. Nike come in here, Adidas come in here, they pitching the new uniforms. And then like, oh yeah, we'll throw in a polo or two for the coaches and a pair of shoes. Like, yo, we like to drip too.
Right.
But aside from that, I just being around, even talking about that in the coach's office, there's so many other conversations that happen, and you find that a lot of coaches have different they wear so many hats. Like, we're not just athletic coaches. Like, I done coach with coaches who are like very financially sound. They're very good with stocks. You could be in that office in the meantime, talking about how to grow your money outside of, just your regular check you get as a coach. We go through life, like we mentor each other. Like, you find a lot of coaches have like problems at home. Like, that's some topics we talked about that we're going to get into. Like, I talked about, coaching through the turbulence. How do I feed into somebody when I need to be fed into? Like, you don't know what I'm dealing with, but I can't come in here carrying that. And I got to tell the young ones, I got to tell the teenagers, soon to be adults, how to operate and make sure I'm doing what I need to do at the same time. But that process never stopped, though. Nobody thinks about that. Like, we never done, like, maturation don't have a ceiling. Like, we always learn. And you talk to old heads, they can give you game as much as they gathered. And obviously that's more than what we have. But as long as we live in, there's always something more we can get in. That's what Coach Life is all about. Passing everything down, paying it forward, just being leaders and being progressive.
Speaking of adversity, you said coaching through turbulence. Are there moments in that where you're feeling like I probably shouldn't be coaching right now? Like, where is that line where I'm going to push through and then I'm going to sit out? I'm going to sit this one out.
Man, like when you ask that question, you mean like within a season, or you mean it like general? Like, I need to step away from the game. Like, I shouldn't be coaching.
I would say in general, but not like completely. So just say like, hey, I'm having a bad day. And even though I could coach, I probably should just sit this one out. So if it is a game, just saying, hey, there's, it's just not adding up for me today. I could go out there, but you know what? I probably need to take a step back and again, feed into me instead of me trying to pour empty.
Right. I think the biggest thing is kind of learning yourself and your coping mechanisms and making sure you develop healthy coping mechanisms. Because at the same time, even though I may feel that way, I gotta find a way to coach through it. That's why I say coaching through the turbulence. I can't sit out because somebody need me, even though I need somebody at the moment, or I need something. Right. Somebody else is counting on me, and I can't not be there because I'm teaching somebody that's soon gonna be a man or a woman that you're gonna have bad days. You still got to go to work. We're in America, we don't get that much PTO, and that's just the facts. If you ain't in education, you ain't get no summer off.
Right.
The reality is you get 2 weeks at best. You got a real good job. You may work your way up to a month over the course. You're still working that throughout a whole year. So how much time do you really got to play with to like sit out? And then on a personal level, you don't have a timeout. You don't have an option to sit out. Because think about if you at home with your own kids, your own children. There's no pause on that.
Right.
There's no time. There's no time out. You gotta find a way to work through that.
Yeah.
I think that goes back to something we talked about a long time ago. Like, what does it mean to be a coach? Like, all of those aspects kind of meld into what it means to be a complete coach. You gotta be able to juggle a lot of aspects of life to be a coach. And when we talk about coaching, it's not just in the sense of coaching on the field, right? We talk about coaching in any aspect where you're a mentor to somebody, where again you have to pour into people day in and day out.
But turn into a parent sometimes.
Exactly.
You're somebody's father figure.
Exactly. You have a lot of people that look up to you because they look to you for that advice, or they look to you for that guidance. I know that we've all could pick, you know, a number of coaches that were influential for us as we progressed, you know. Exactly. Absolutely. You already alluded to one, but tell us who are some influential coaches that you've had that have helped kind of groom you to have the mindset you have today?
I'm gonna give you a unexpected answer, but my grandfather and my father, and they weren't athletes at all. They ain't coached, you know, let alone play a sport. They ain't coach sport. I mean,
that was the purpose of the question, bro. Because again, we're not talking about on the field. We're not talking about just on the field, right?
Yeah, like me, like the rawest, best, worst, like, you know, they built the bear, and they bump heads, and they conflicted too. I mean, both were rough. Oh, I can't say both were. My father still here. My grandfather definitely rough around the edges, but in a different way. He was a passer, but unfiltered man.
You said he was unfiltered?
Yeah. So my grandfather was unfiltered in a clean way. You know, he said what came to his mind. He wasn't cursing anything like that. But you know, he may offend you, not necessarily on purpose, but a part of that was with age. A part of that was like his upbringing. Like you talk about an old man from Mississippi during the time frame that he grew up in Mississippi. You can imagine, like, you know, the things that he carried with him, man, as a black man, and then also, you know, going into the service. So he had a lot of stuff behind him. But so a lot of strength I got from both them for different reasons. Like my father was, you know, grew up in Chicago, rough around the edges, you know, gang and all different type of stuff he got into, but he kind of changed things around. Still did not have a filter. Definitely didn't watch his mouth around me growing up. Didn't hide his beard, cigarettes. Like I was around all of that, but just unfazed, both of them. Very different, but the same at the same time. Like, and I just got a lot of strength and power from them. They just like stood on how they were, who they were, what they believed in, whether it was right or wrong. It was like they didn't do things for anybody else. Like they did things for those they cared for, but they weren't doing things to impress anybody. They weren't doing things to come off a certain way of making an impression. Not just that individualism. Right. It's kind of like what formed me. And I think a lot of people that know me would say that I'm an individual.
Absolutely. All right, let's make this transition, yo. Let's make this transition. Because we gotta talk about the clothing line. Yeah. I know you're gonna probably kill me if we don't at least talk about something about this clothing line.
We good. Well, this how the clothing line came to be. So
absolutely
we good money regardless.
So I'm gonna tell you first and foremost, I rock the gear. I love the shirts. I just bought the jogger set a little while ago. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's absolutely amazing. And that's no cap. I'm not saying that because you my homie, bruh. You did it with the sweatpants, bro. You did it with sweatpants.
Yeah. I wear them all the time, every day.
Bruh, I'm gonna have to buy like 6 more
not
pair of
I'm
these.
marketing either. I may not leave the house. I'm in them every day, all day. I love them. I made something that I can lounge in and go out in.
Exactly. So let's talk a little bit more about the brand, the clothing line, a little bit more. So first and foremost, how is the clothing line, the apparel period? How is the apparel different from other apparels out there right now?
Oh man, it's well, like you said, I mean, you can find some comfortable stuff somewhere else, but like, I feel like I've come out with something that is functional, uh workable, something you can work in. Like, we can coach, be comfortable. This my best way to sum this up, I created the baby boy for coaches. When baby boy was out there on the street selling that dress to shorty, he was like, yeah, this that all purpose. You can go to work or straight to happy hour. Yeah, this that for the coaches. Like we can go off the field and then
You do know that there are going to be a demographic that's not going to understand what you just said.
oh no.
So they're going to have to go back and Google that one, bro.
Right now this coach life. So I think most of the demographic gonna get. Some movies have touched multiple demographics. I feel like that one,
We'll see in the
we
comment
always gonna miss
section.
somebody. You always gonna miss somebody.
Right, of course,
it ain't
bro.
quite Friday, but
Of course. Well, we'll see in the comment section.
Yeah, we might have to plug in a little video clip or something. It'll help y'all out.
There you go. One other thing aspect again is breathable. That's one of the things that I really like about it is that it's breathable. It's not like I remember getting the sweatpants when we were at BU at Benedictine University. Again, some of the packages
one season
were
fits. One
exactly.
Season fits. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I've appreciated what we got because again, coming from high school that really didn't get or didn't have much from from a budgetary standpoint to give us anything. I appreciated what we got, but it was not breathable in the least bit. And we played on a turf field all the time, bro. So
Yep.
it was not comfortable at all. These, I feel like I can play the whole game in, bro. Like, again, no cap. And I ain't saying it again because you're my homie. You definitely created something that is workable, is actually feasible, workable apparel.
Appreciate it. I definitely put a lot into it. The crazy thing is my history. I mean, and you can vouch for this response and back it up. I was not the drip receiver. I went against the grain. And really I went from defense to receiver my senior year in high school. So you just said my natural mentality is hit somebody. And
you don't need gear on hitting nobody.
Nah, I was definitely old school in that way. I ain't even wear a pair of gloves as a receiver till I got to college. So no drip. So that's the funny thing about me even doing a clothing line, because I just didn't care.
Far from it. Far from it.
I'll ask this question. For people who don't know, what products are available? And then what are some ideas for the products you got coming in the future?
Man, I'm so excited about some of the stuff coming. So I still got some stuff going on through the R&D process. I take my time. I put a lot of money into like items before they get released. Y'all don't get to see like the misses. And me going back to the drawing board with the supplier, like, yeah, we're gonna change this size and chart. We're gonna have to, this, that. It's so much stuff where I'm like, I can't do nothing with that.
Yeah.
Throw away. That's just throwing away bread. So we got the zip up hoodies with the matching pants and bottoms. We also have leggings. I have leggings for ladies on the website as well. So those are available. There are V-necks for ladies. The CoachLife t-shirts, you got V-necks with the original print that you see here, that you see on the background. That's the original print. So we have those V-necks. You also have just your regular tees for the guys. Also, I have what's coming. This hat is not up yet. This will be on the website soon. So I got the dad hat. Let's say CoachLife. I'm also going to do that with the urban print. So this is my new urban print that I have. And this is more so seasonal. So this one it's a little thicker. You can wear this to keep you warm in the winter. It's not like the original zip up hoodie. So this is very comfortable too. And these also
real comfortable. It looks real comfortable.
Oh yeah, this is extremely comfortable. So I have this and the bottoms that go along with it, and you can see the bottoms on the website. This same print is going down the side of the leg, so it's real dope. I'm gonna come out with some new colors. This same thing, bucket hats. I actually did come out with a bucket hat, and that came out good. So I'm gonna get some more of those made up. I actually gave it to another coach that has been some repeat business for me, and so I gifted that to him just for him circling back around. He put his whole staff in the zip up hoodies for this track season, so I appreciate him. Shout out to Coach Jacobs at South Springs High School. Yeah, I used to work under him, so as a track coach, and they'll being a head track coach because of him. So definitely appreciate him. Coaches coaching coaches that circle back around.
100%, man, 100%. So I know, again, like you said, some of the gear is probably not on the website right now because you like to hoard some of this stuff and rock it before everybody else get a chance.
Oh yeah, I do be rocking stuff for a while.
I know, I noticed that, bro.
I got polos coming out. I'm glad Ryan asked, Professor asked. The polos, I want to work on that material a little bit more, but that'll be the next thing to drop.
You see this, bro? You see this? You see all this stuff coming out of the woodwork, bro?
Yeah.
Like he knew, he just wasn't gonna say nothing. But I'm glad you got it out of him. It's good journalism. Good job. But yeah, let's plug that website, sir. Where can we find this luxurious apparel?
And go to CoachLife Wear. When I say wear, it's what you wearing. WEAR.com. CoachLifeWear.com. Yeah, you can go on there and shop around. Like I said, I'll be adding items. If you want things customized, right now I'm focusing on like deals with coaching staffs. Like I said, I just set up a track coaching staff recently. So if you want like your team logo, all you have to do is shoot me an email. That's at coachlifewear@gmail.com. So exactly what the website is, coachlifewear@gmail.com. You can email me directly for quotes on customized items. You can get the same items you see online with your logo. And even if it's not a sports team, I actually did something for somebody who will soon be a guest in the future. He's a financial coach, works through, he has his own business with helping build credit and financial literacy. So when I had him on, did some gear for him too. And he has his company logo on there.
I heard you mention going back and forth, dropping bread, making sure designs are, if it's a hit or a miss. We probably won't get into it now, but at some point, because we're aligned in certain ways, I want to know how perfectionism affects coaching, because I feel like that's a thing.
That's gonna be a heavy topic, bro. Man, we might have to have him back on this one for this one.
Yeah, we could talk a lot about that. I mean, how perfectionism affects coaching is you got to learn to be fluid in coaching. That was one of the first things I was taught as a new coach. Like you got to be fluid. Like if you're gonna have to throttle down on that, like there's no way you're gonna survive. Yeah. There's truly no perfect. I mean, you're a former athlete. There's no perfection in the game.
Absolutely.
And that's the beauty of it, though. I'm an artist too, so that's kind of what helps me have balance. It's just the fact that I understand how mistakes and things breaking down kind of help you discover new things. So that's kind of the beauty in the coaching experience. Sometimes you know those situations where let's go back to basketball. You're a hooper, so your coach see you coming up court, you feeling yourself, and you pull that thing from about 30, 35 deep, and he like, no, what are you? And then you knocked it down, and he like, oh, he kind of fall back. Like, okay.
I'll take that one.
Yeah.
Take that one.
I ain't gonna say nothing because you made it, but if you miss,
you coming out.
Yeah,
we know what it is. You know what it is.
So sometimes, like I said, that's part of being fluid, though. It's like there's a lot of instinct in being a player. So one thing as a coach, you got to remember, like, I was a player once, since he not out here.
Yeah.
Like he not out here, nor is he in this shell. Like you
Right,
get in
right.
moments where you just feel and you know,
Yeah.
and you making an executive decision as a player.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at the same time, it's some certain players that can do that. But
Okay.
yeah, there's that balance as a coach. It's just recognizing that you know who to trust,
Yeah.
and also trying to help build the ones that are not at that level up to that point.
Yeah.
So I think the perfection is perfecting understanding and the patience to continue to develop and come up with a process that'd be universal to just help grow everybody.
Absolutely.
Right. So excellent segue, sir. Because now we're going to switch gears and talk a little bit about the podcast and some of the future episodes that we're going to start having and start talking about. We kind of alluded to a lot of the stuff that we're going to be talking about in some of these pods.
Yeah.
A couple of them that I'm really excited to kind of hash out again is that perfectionist, that perfectionist in coaching, another one that we talked about was, again, pouring back into yourself. Like, how do you refill, right?
Yeah.
You have to pour into so many people. How do you refill at the end of the day? And I think probably one that's probably going to be a long one as well. I think you talked about this one. This is kind of twofold. Again, operating in chaos. Again, focusing on the solution and not the problem, right?
Yeah.
And another fun one, constructive criticism. Again, just the art of communication, like how you communicate, how you say what you say, how you get your meaning across to people to get them to understand what you're trying to say and how you feel about certain things, right?
Yeah.
I'm really excited about some of these pods that we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. It's a lot of heavy topics.
It's gonna get deep.
Yeah.
These are topics that are not touched on a broad level enough, and
especially in our circle and our space, it's not talked about enough. And I'm glad you said that. I didn't mean to steal your thunder, bro, but
no, you good.
Again, you definitely hit a chord, because we don't do this enough. And I think that's the reason. I think that's one of the things that kind of sparked me to even say, like, yeah, man, we got to start this podcast, bro, because we got an opportunity and an obligation to help so many people.
Yeah, the reality of it is, like, coaches are men and women. But I just say, from a male perspective, we kind of raised not to share our feelings. I think today is there's more awareness about it. Like, more people are seeking therapy, and it's not frowned upon, especially in, like, the Black community too. It's definitely was even more frowned upon amongst the Black community, let alone Black men in itself, because it's just
weak, right?
It's kind of like a form of weakness. But, like, at the end of the day, when somebody break down, have a meltdown, and it looked like it came out of left field, like, nah, they come out of left field. You weren't trying to hear them. You didn't make yourself available to the community, and then make themselves available for that person to be heard. So now you think they just went crazy. No, they ain't just go crazy. It's been brewing. It's been brewing. Like, what's up? Then you come back and find out more information, and you find out, man, Coach so-and-so had this illness, and he lost this, he lost that. Nobody had a clue. And part of that is, like, I even thought about the topic, like, coaching through turbulence, because me myself, I've had a bunch of stuff I've had to deal with while coaching, or even as a teacher. You got to coming to school, them long days as a high school, especially down in Texas, a high school football coach, like you don't go home. Like what is
True.
like
True.
you're not going home. You going like you at home when you at the school. That's really, it's like you leave for a little bit, then you come back home.
Come
That's
on
what
back.
it turned
Right.
into. But like the
100%.
reality is like what's supposed to be home could be breaking down. We pour so much time and energy into coaching, especially the higher the level, the worse it get.
Yeah.
Oh God,
And I
yes.
remember my first high school coaching job with you, Steve. I forgot which coach talked to me. It wasn't Coach Griff. It was our OC at the time. And
Oh, Hasselhoff.
yeah, he just sidebarred
Shout
me. He
out
was like,
Coach Hasselhoff too, man.
yeah,
Bill and
absolutely,
Gil.
absolutely. But he's kind of like, yo, how far you want to take this coaching thing? And then I was like, I'm not really sure at this point. He was like, you trying to coach college? And he just said the realest thing. And I was just like, the more I coach and the more coaches I got around, I was like, man, I don't run into that no more. Like I ain't run into like a coach like that anymore that like I have, but there it's a smaller percentage of them than it is of coaches just being quiet and kind of standing there. It's a lot of joking around and stuff like that, but like
Mm-hmm.
coach being real with you, just like, are you married? Uh, or where you trying to go with this? I've been divorced 3 times. I'm like, what? I coach
Yeah,
at
bro.
the college level. Like he said, you trying to go up there, it just makes probably not gonna work. He's
Yeah.
like, he said, you think you up here a lot? Go coach college. Just
Gone,
like
bro.
just some real talk. Like we barely got to know each other. He just like giving me game out the door. Keeping it real. Like this. Depending on where you're trying to go. Like he said, man, this a lot. You
Mm-hmm.
ready for it?
Sacrifice.
Again, trying to you hit the nail on the head, bro. Sacrifice. What are you willing to sacrifice? Again,
Yeah.
another topic that we definitely gonna dive into. Like, what are you willing to give up to get to where you want to get to?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is it worth it?
Is it worth it?
Yeah. You, but the crazy thing is, and I know we're gonna touch right now. We'll just call this the foundation. We're gonna come up with a bunch of topics right now just from chit chatting. But
Yeah.
the crazy thing is, when you think about like sacrifice, I even think about people talk about like family and everything like that. But like certain people have like a purpose to feed into the world in a more direct way. Uh, and it may cause them to sacrifice like time in their own home. But it's like that is a battle for your tail internally. You start asking yourself a whole lot of questions like, do I really hear what I think I'm hearing? Like whether you are like a biblical, spiritual person or not.
Right.
Call it the spirit, call it the universe, whatever you want to call it, like purpose. Like, am I really hearing what I think I'm hearing? Like, I'm like, I gotta cut time over here to pour into all these people over here. And then like, you keep questioning that, it's like, man, like I ain't getting this time over here.
True.
But
Very true.
I'm being pulled. I got this heavy pull, this heavy magnetic pull to do this over here.
Because of your purpose.
Your purpose. You think about like you think about leaders who sacrifice themselves, let alone their time. Like you talk about Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. The list goes on. We can go all the way back.
Yeah.
I was a big Old Testament guy reading the Bible growing up. So like I think about Moses. I think about then it's the people, and then you think about all these leaders. They really was running away from it.
Yeah.
I know I've tried to run a lot of times. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, bro. But the crazy thing is, and I
I'm gonna
think
keep it. I'm gonna keep it 100. I done tried to run so many times. I'm talking about even before coaching in my life. Where I knew
exactly.
what some things I was being pulled to do and like my purpose, and I'm just like, man, that's just like
You're gonna get caught, bro. You're gonna get caught.
you can't run. Like I had y'all know I write and stuff like that. I had a bar once. I said, and only people that know the Bible probably gonna catch these bars. I'm gonna spit them, and this ain't no we ain't gonna get churchy, but this is more so look at it just from a reference point for wisdom. But
Spit hot fire, son. Spit hot fire.
I said
Come
running
on
like
down,
Jonah,
man.
he sent me a wishing well. Now, if you know the reference to that story, you understand the bar. So I say I was running like Jonah, he sent me a wishing well. Son, obedience, that'll keep you out of hell, or on earth, that'll keep you out of jail. God, my Batman, Christian Bale.
Wishing well. Wow.
You heard what he said. Now, for
But yeah,
those who are not into rap, hip hop, whatever you want to call the genre, go ahead and run it back so that you can hear and slow it down so that you can hear all the bars that was spit.
Write it down.
Hear
and
some
read
of the double entendres that were actually in there.
yeah, I didn't. It's crazy, man. It's a lot of you do a lot of questioning yourself in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, you hit the nail on the head, providing that positive perspective, again, from in all walks of life and from many different perspectives. I mean, we've been able and blessed to be able to work with a number of different people and provide them, some kind of nugget that they took with them that helped them do something. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody on here can pick one person that drastically changed their life because of something you may have been able to help provide them with. And I know there's a number of people that can probably do the same thing. And that's exactly what this pod is about, right? It's just helping people along that journey and getting them from point A to point B, and maybe helping them along the way find that bridge, or find that quicker way, or maybe they have to take the long route to to get to where they need to get to. But it's again trying to help them along that journey so that again they don't feel alone, right?
Yeah.
So that said, again, you know who we are, you know what we're doing, you know where we're going right now. We talked about a bunch of future pods right now. We talked about the clothing line. We talked about these pods, like I said. Before we close out, Coach Washington, is there anything that you would like to close out with, sir?
Man, what I'm trying to think. The only thing that comes to mind, thank you for coming out. God bless and good night.
Man, we are not gonna rip off and get canceled. The first,
Hey,
exactly,
that's another
first
generation
episode,
thing.
bro.
I just did that for fun.
You know how many people are gonna have to Google that and find out what that's about? Like, what are they talking about?
See, he gonna make a comeback just off me. Cut the check.
Hey, bro. And he gonna be wearing CoachLife clothes.
Cut the check.
Cut the check.
And he gonna be wearing CoachLife. So look at that.
Yeah, well, we might have to talk with the PR team on that one.
Oh man,
you got to remember why he disappeared. Yeah,
give him a bucket hat, bro. Yeah, exactly.
No, but I'm gonna leave off with just saying like just some inspiration. Like embrace your flaws. Don't embrace your flaws to justify your wrongs. Embrace your flaws to have a point of reference of what you came from. Remember what you came from and what you went through. Grow through what you go through, and continue to just be an example. Best way you can. So we go through everything we go through for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it happens, it's by design. Sometimes our choices kind of put us in certain situations, but push through it, and then you just a testimony at that point, be able to pour into somebody. You got something to show, Like, yo, this ain't nothing new. Let me tell you this. And be transparent. Don't beat around the bush. As a coach, as a leader, if you got anybody coming to you for advice or looking up to you as a mentor, like don't hold back, but also do it appropriately, if that makes sense. It's a way to share a story, and it's a way to you know, show the positive, and also just make sure nobody go down that path if they don't have to. Some of us got to touch the stove, some of us don't have to.
True that.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm a stove person, but I'm still here to make sure you don't touch it.
There you go. That's what it's about, bro. That's exactly what it's about.
It's hot.
Hey, and I'm gonna look at Lloyd and say, okay, I'm not gonna do that.
There you go, bro. So there you go. There you go, yo. Some of us learn by just watching, bro.
Watch and learn. It's hot.
You know it. Coach Ryan, anything
Yes,
for close us out for the before we close out?
Oh man, I'm getting a lot from this. So I'm appreciate you guys, appreciate Coach Washington just dropping knowledge, man. Like he said, just embrace who you are, how you are, and then grow from it. That's the best thing I can say. Like, don't let it be something you rest in. Don't rest in your imperfections, but get better with it.
I'm gonna end this pod with something that I have been saying for quite some time now that I think has helped me understand what I need to do, how I need to do it, and why I need to do it. And that is 3 initials, TTP. Trust the process.
Oh God.
All you got to do is just trust the process. Understand that you're in a situation, and that's simple as that. It's just a situation. It's temporary. It's temporary. So just trust the process. And that's our job, your job, everybody's job, essentially, to figure that out for ourselves and help each other along the way so that other people don't have to make those same pitfalls.
Yeah.
So again, for all of us here at the Coach Life podcast, again, we appreciate everybody showing up and listening in. Definitely appreciate the support. Again, this was a long time coming. Glad that we finally got a chance to get this off the ground and get this going.
Sir.
So again, that's gonna do it for us here. Again, if you like what you heard, please like, subscribe. We'll make sure to put all those links in the bio, so all that information will be there for you. So you can get your apparel, so you can have a little bit of drip, at least some of the drip, because Coach Washington probably had the rest of the drip on him first. So again, if you like what you heard,
like this?
Listen, bro, I'm just saying, I ain't seeing everything on the website. I see you with like new gear, then it come out like maybe like 3 weeks later. I'm just saying. But anyway, that is gonna do it here for your positivity partners. Again, stay positive, my friends.